Last week on Drop Tine Ridge, we kicked the season off down at the home farm. We were able to glass some nice bucks the day before season, and I had hoped to get on one that day. Well, I tell you what, I was able to do just that, but unfortunately, those bucks went the other way, and they broke my heart. Day 2 came, and I tell you what, I thought it was going to happen, but I had to let them walk at 12 yards. Kyle, on the other hand, glassed many deer from afar, and he was hoping to get a red arrow, but he'd have to wait for another day to come as well. Now, this week, we're both up to bat, starting with Kyle, so as he would always say, let's see what happens.
All right, it is Monday, October 3rd, and I'm back out at the farm. I'm overlooking the pumpkins right now. My plan for today is they're picking the pumpkins way back behind me where my wind's blowing, and then the neighbors have the cows out in the pasture, which the deer don't seem to like. He doesn't keep them out here all year round, and so I'm hoping that they'll kind of funnel between the two woods and come right out, to the pumpkins to give me a shot. There's just one problem. Didn't do enough stand prep apparently when I set the stand, and it's not good. It's going to be really hard to shoot to my right, which is where I expect most of the deer to come through. I can shoot straight, I can shoot to the left, but due to the lean in this tree and the smaller platform, I can't comfortably turn around and shoot to my right. So I'll have to figure that out when the time comes, and just see what happens. So overall, it was a pretty good hunt. I had that nice buck come out of the corner, but unfortunately the pumpkin pickers were taken off, so they ended up spooking back into the woods. And about 10 minutes later, heard some sparring, and here they come back out of that corner of that woods again, and ended up being 5 bucks. One was a nice 8-point, but I mean he'd probably go 110, 115. So closest thing I was about 80 yards, and since it was too far for a shot and it was getting pretty dark, I stayed in the stand about an extra 10-15 minutes just to make sure that they got plenty far away. I trailed them on binoculars as well as I could, and they're probably about 150 yards away before I got down, so did as quietly as I could, and now I'm walking out. So I'm gonna take the next couple days off. It's supposed to be in the high 70s the next 2 days, and then we've got a cold front coming through on Friday, high of 51. So you can bet I'm going to be hunting pretty hard this weekend. And I'm still waiting just to get a deer in range. Like I said, I got some doe tags to fill, and looking for a nice buck. So we'll see what happens.
It is October 6th, and we are on the road again. We're heading down to the farm, and we're excited because it is still the first week of bow season, so the pressure has not been crazy yet. The deer are still in bachelor groups, and we have a major cold front coming in, about a 21-degree temp drop. The only thing that we don't have going for us is it's going to be a little windy. But the deer have not been moving these last couple days. I suspect it has something to do with the pressures changing, and I think tomorrow could be a really good day to hunt. So we're going to slip in there early. And we may do an all-day sit. I'm not sure yet. But we're going to give her hell and hope for the best. I mean, it's still early in the season. We got a couple bucks that we're chasing. So let's get on the road here. Make it count when they show up. about 15 mile an hour winds. But this spot, like I said, is a good spot. I've killed 2 deer here. We got a cornfield behind us, behind this strip of woods here, so I'm hoping the deer will travel between the beans and the corn, and we'll get a shot at one tonight. We do have a storm coming in, and it's going to force a 21-degree temperature drop for Friday, so I have high expectations for Friday. As expected, things started off pretty slow that evening as the storm slowly approached. I believe the high winds kept the deer bedded down for most of the day, but with 1 hour of legal shooting light left, the deer movement started to increase dramatically. All I could do was hope now that my target buck would step out. As doe after doe funneled into the field, this young buck appeared to my right side and offered me an easy shot. However, with plenty of daylight left and my number 1 still lurking around the property, I decided to pass this buck in hopes that he would make it another year. We got about 10 more minutes of legal shooting light, and I've seen about 30 deer so far, so that's been kind of nice. All of them have been really in the last hour. They had about 10 of them come walking by, 2 bucks, and the rest were 8 does and fawns, and then a bunch of them up front here, and then over there by Kyle's stand. But the gamble's paid off and just hasn't paid off with a big buck yet, and I don't even know if I'd call it a gamble at that, because I just felt like the deer would be through here, you know, wanting to stick next to the edge here with this wind. And hopefully we'll see some more. If not, we'll be back in the morning to try to take advantage of this cold front that came through. It is October 7th, and it's 7:56 a.m., and we are sitting in my brother's stand. We had a major cold front come through last night. A storm pushed through, and temperatures really dropped. It was in the 70s yesterday. Today it's in the 40s, and this evening it's supposed to stay around 21-degree difference from yesterday. So I'm really expecting these deer to be moving. The only thing is, it's pretty windy. It's about 15 mile an hour, but so far that hasn't seemed to stop things or slow things down at all, because I have had a couple deer I've seen so far. I've seen 4 deer. All of them are bucks, and really I was only able to get 2 of them on camera, but they're in the area, and I do believe we picked the right spot, because there are cows over by the turnaround right now, and I've had bad luck when cows come in, so hopefully they'll stay over there. Well, it is October 7th, and we are back in the blind. Literally, we're doing a ground and pound this evening. We're hunting a alfalfa field that was cut just prior to season, so it's going on its second cut now. And Dave ended up hunting here opening day, and he saw 19 different bucks. So that's a lot for this field. So I'm hoping that things have settled down since he last hunted here, and these deer will come out. Now, the cell cameras out here, they've been kind of dead. So I'm kind of taking a gamble on hunting here versus the beans or the pumpkins, because I know for a fact at least I'll see deer there, because I can see a long ways. But the point is, I'm not here to see deer. I'm here to kill a deer. And that's why I decided to hunt here. It's kind of a gamble, like I said, but I just didn't like how I was going to be set up there with where my brother was going to be hunting and how the deer have been moving. So I decided to come on over here and give it a try. And hopefully, you know, it'll pay off. We had some turkeys out in the field earlier that I was watching, And they're a bunch of hens, no toms. But that's a good sign because there's at least something in here. And hopefully the deer will see those turkeys and feel comfortable and come on out and start eating in this alfalfa. It was another exciting evening in the deer woods as I had numerous encounters. Unfortunately, nothing appeared that really shook me up. Kyle, on the other hand, texted me asking if I could get him with the truck at night so he wouldn't spook any deer getting down from the field. And come to find out, he had a shot opportunity at my number one target buck right at last legal light.
At about 7:20, just real close to the field edge. It was too windy. I didn't hear him, walking from a distance. All of a sudden, out pops one buck. Then out pops that big 8-9, whatever you want to call it, and then the other, I think it's a 10 point. So 3 good bucks. I had them all at 10 yards. The problem was they came out to my right. There's some branches and all that, so it's not like I could immediately turn and shoot. They gave me another shot. Had about 30 and 40 yards. However, it wasn't that good broadside or quartering away. It was a hard quartering away, so it's you really would have had to tuck it well, and with it being low light, we got pins on the bow. I really just didn't trust my shot, so I decided to let them walk. They fed out to like 60 yards, 70 yards. It's about when they turned broadside, and they walked right to the fence stand. I really got some Tactacam pictures of them, and then they pretty much just walked that fence row going right towards the pumpkins. But yeah, you came and picked me up, and even as you stopped in front of me to scare the deer out, I could still see them out in the field. But eventually they did walk off. So it was a pretty good evening. I probably saw 20 deer overall, 5-6 bucks. I had those 3 nice ones that came in. So it was a good evening. All right, it is Friday, October 7th. It's about 7 p.m. And I got out of work and got here as quick as I could. I'm out in the turnaround stand. Got a nice north-northwest wind, which is going to be blowing back into the corner. I'm going to be expecting deer coming up from the bottoms to my right or from over the fence at the neighbors. It's got this actual little driveway turnaround. That's why it's called the turnaround stand. And then I can see very far in the stand. I got a lot of beans in front of me, so hopefully with this cold front that came through, there's a little action, and get to fling an arrow tonight. So. First buck of the evening. I've seen 3 other does, but they didn't stay out in the field long. That guy came up a draw just to my right, fed out the beans, I don't know, maybe 5 or so minutes. Walked by him at about 30 yards. Just need a bigger guy to do the same thing.
It's not always easy, but I have to tip my hat to Kyle for passing up these bucks during legal light. If the shot wasn't perfect, there's just no reason to risk it. Hopefully one of us will catch up with this buck later on in the season. Well, it is October 8th, and it is 7:40 a.m., and we are back in the stand. That's right. We're taking advantage of this cold front that moved through. Right now we had a frost warning. It's about 28 degrees. It is beautiful out. There is no wind though, so we're going to be real quiet with this one. So far we've seen 2 different bucks. Look to be about a 6 point and an 8 point. And that was right at first light. And I've seen 6 other deer too since then. We got a west wind. It's blowing right behind me. I'm hoping that these deer will come out of the corn or out of the woodlot here to feed in these beans. We're going to give it a couple hours and see what happens. about that time to pack up and head on home. Got a birthday party I got to attend to this afternoon. But opening week here in Michigan was really good. I saw quite a few deer. I saw probably 80 to 100 deer. Granted, some of them might have been the same deer. It's hard to say when you start seeing so many. But overall, it was a really enjoyable week. I noticed that the bucks were sparring quite a bit. There was quite a few vocalizations, grunting and bleating that was going on. And the bucks were in bachelor groups still, which was nice to see. They were definitely running their summer patterns. And this temperature, it dropped about 21 degrees, from Thursday to Friday, and I think that helped out with things too, because I saw about 22 deer on Friday, and Kyle had an opportunity at the Big 8, and a couple other deer showed up on trail camera that we didn't, normally have on camera. But I think it's time to regroup now. I had this full moon, the super full moon today. I think that screwed me for this morning's hunt, although I did see about 12 deer. But I did learn by moving my trail camera the other way, and moving it about 10 yards, that's exactly where those deer are coming out of the field. And I'm definitely going to hang a stand there. So it's time to get down and prepare for the following week's hunt, give the spot a rest, and get warmed up and head home.